In this lecture, I'm going to talk about how the program file is configured and program file is interpreted in ASP.NET 7. Now, we have only one program file as the application startup file instead of the program file and the startup file or the program class and the startup class in earlier versions of ASP.NET prior to ASP.NET 6. So let's create a project and start understanding extending our understanding. So I have opened Visual Studio 2022 and I will create a new project. And out of the several templates that I have got as recent project templates, I will go for this ASP.NET Core web app and click on Next. And I will give it a name. Razor Pages Demo, because it is a Razor Pages type of project. By default, ASP.NET Core Web App creates a Razor Pages project. So click on Next. And I don't want to configure for HTTPS and .NET 7 standard term support, authentication none, and click on Create. And the project is created for me. Now we have to, this lecture is all about learning how the Program.cs or program file, which is the startup for this application, ASP.NET Core Razor Pages application, how it is configured, how to interpret each of these lines of code that is already pre-written, preloaded for you. So the first line, var builder equals web application dot create builder. So this is, this is web application type. When you are calling the create builder and passing the arguments from the command line, so it will create a web application builder object. Okay, web application builder. And in the next line on the web application builder, this is the services collection, iServices collection. So this is using the DI container, just like in the earlier versions of ASP.NET Core, you used to call configure services method, and you will put the to the iServices collection your own services. So here in this version of ASP.NET, we have got this builder. On builder, you are calling the this is just like the dependency injection container with the builder.services, and you are adding the razor pages on this. This dependency injection, which makes configured services available throughout an app, and like again, services are added to the DI container with web application builder dot services. Okay, and when the web application builder is instantiated, okay, when it is instantiated, many framework provided services are added. So builder is a web application builder. Okay, this is a web application builder, as I said. Now in this code, when the build method is called, it will end up in an web application, and um, this will add, this does a few things. So on builder, when you call the build method, it configures a host with a set of default options such as usage of Kestrel as a web server and enable IIS integration, load configuration from app settings.json, environment variables, command line arguments, and other configuration sources, and send the logging output to the console and debug providers. That is all being done by this one line of code, builder.build, var app equals builder.build. Now, in the next few lines, we will be configuring the HTTP request pipeline. So this request handling pipeline is composed as a series of middleware components. Each component performs operations on an HTTP context and either invokes the next middleware in the pipeline or terminates the request. By convention, a middleware component is added to the pipeline by invoking the use. with use feature like use exception handler, use static files, use routing, etc. Use feature extension method. So say for example this um, middleware use exception handler says that if the environment is not development, if not app.environment.is development, that means if the environment is either production or staging or any other environment, then use the exception handler /error and then go for using the static files, which is what this www root contains, these all this JavaScript, CSS or HTML files or image serving the static files, and then use routing middleware, then authorization middleware, and then map razor pages middleware. This is not a middleware, this is for mapping the razor pages and then running the application finally. Here I would like to write another line of code to illustrate something. I will call the map get method app.mapget. Yeah, I'll shortly tell you what I am trying to do. And this is a delegate type lambda expression, and it will write hello world. So what does this line do? This particular line. So this line, it includes a single endpoint using the mapget method, and this endpoint is /. Okay, so if you hover over, it says that it is a string pattern. So when an HTTP GET request, mapget means GET request is sent to the root URL. Okay, that is / here. It could be anything else, /hi, /product, or /product/ catalog or something like that. But this is the string pattern. This is the endpoint. And when this GET request is sent to the root URL, the request delegate is executed, and hello world is written on the HTTP response. And if the request method is not get or the root URL is not /, no root matches and an HTTP 404 is returned. Okay, so if we run this application, either clicking this green arrow or running without debugging, Control F5, then we should get hello world. So we get hello world here on the localhost 5297 port, and this port is also coming from here. If you see HTTP localhost 5297. Okay, so let's close the application. Control C, close it. And that's all for this lecture. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like this lecture, please subscribe to the channel and share it with friends.